Hello and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and today we're going to look at the Abyss, a part of the game so beautiful I feel entitled to start the video with a slideshow of the environments. These sites take 20 minutes maximum to run because there's a timer. It's one of the few parts of EVE that you know if you've got half an hour spare to play, you can dive in and do one. And they come in 5 different levels of complexity and reward. They also have their own challenges. Now it all starts right here with the filament. These are all calm filaments, meaning they're for tier 1 Abyss. And the first one we're going to look at is the dark filament. Now a dark filament site will reduce your weapon range, but it will increase the ship velocity. That's not just you, that is every ship in the site. When we go over here to the electrical site, you will see that everything in the site has reduced EM resistances, but you get enhanced ship capacitor recharging. That's particularly useful if you need a lot of capacitor, maybe on an active tank ship. So bear these effects in mind. They will have a bearing on how you want to set the resistances and what damage type you want to deal, because remember, the rats are going to be susceptible to that damage type just as you are. On the exotic site we've got reduced kinetic resistances but enhanced scan resolution, so you're going to be a bit easier to hit than normal. That's more of an issue if you're using frigate. You do have the option of running these sites in either a solo cruiser or a fleet of up to 3 frigates, and they can actually be a nice little way of learning some basic fleet training and fleet mechanics, etc, etc. Anyway, on to the next site, the Firestorm. Here we've got reduced thermal resistances, and all ships will get a 50% boost to their armor hit points. Now again, that includes the rats, so if you're in a shield tank ship, that might not be the easiest one for you to do. And just for balance, opposite side of the coin, we have the Gamma site, and this one will reduce your explosive resistances but will increase your shield strength by 50%. So shield tank ships, they're quite a good one. Fire those Nova missiles. Remember, set your tank and take the right type of ammo as appropriate to the site you're going to run. And your drones too, of course. Make sure they're using the right damage type. Filaments are available on the market, but you'll find them when you do the sites, and you can find them on data sites for free. And this is how you use them. You need to go out to a safe, then you simply use the filament. Once you click the activate button, that's it, you're going in. So make sure you've checked your ammo, checked your load of drones, checked your tank, and then press go. There's no coming back now. Once the 20-minute timer is up on this site and you're not out of it, you will die and you will lose your pod. It's one of the things I love about the Abyss. There is that element of danger. The spawns vary, so you never know quite what you're going to get. It's not as repetitive as any regular form of PvE. I like it quite a lot. There are 3 rooms in each site. This is an exotic site, by the way. When you kill the last rat in each room, if you watch the gate, it will activate, and then you can progress. So you go from room 1 to room 2, from room 2 to room 3, and then from room 3 you go back to the system that you came from. On the higher tier sites there is an optional PvP room. We will talk about that another day. On the way through, you have to kill all the rats in a room to unlock the gate. It's up to you how much of the loot you grab. This is in an extraction node. It's right on the edge of the map. You can see there is a grid there. It appears very suddenly in front of you. I'm going to clatter off of there and through the barrier. I'll come in way too fast, not really paying attention. But you can see I'm taking some very pretty damage. But look at my drones. I don't take much damage at all, because I've turned around and I'm coming straight back out. But my drones, because they've come through with me, and I think the Trigs manage to stay on the right side and don't take any damage, but they get pretty much wiped out. There can also be localized cloud effects in a room. Here we got the filament cloud, so that's a penalty to shield booster amount and cycle time. Whereas this effect here, I've just come out of the cloud, so that's just the one for the site. There is also an equivalent cloud effect for armor repairers, and the third type of cloud will increase your signature radius by 300%. But if you can get the rats to go into it, that can really work in your favour too. The rats you will meet in the Abyss will be sleepers, they will be drones, or they can be Triglavians. They will vary from frigates. Some of the ships actually deploy drones, which is quite unusual, all the way up to battleships, battle cruisers, And cruisers, we will look at those in detail as we go along. This is one of the two types of tower. This is the tracking tower. It boosts the tracking of any ship in its range, and if you watch this battle cruiser, it's one-shotting my drones. They can do that anyway. If it's got the tracking enhancement on it, I'm not surprised, but look at those drones going down. They're only Tech 1 drones. When you actually see me run these sites, I'll explain a little bit why I'm demonstrating stuff. The drones are secondary to the bellicose. But just look at the site. This is an exotic site. It's made of bits of smashed up stuff. It's a lovely place to look at. The effects are great. Don't try to get through a gate before you've unlocked it. You'll have to also do a bit of manual piloting to help you around these sites. You don't want to lose traversal and speed too much, but sometimes the objective will be on the other side of a rock. You'll have to fly around it. We'll look at some details of the site running. I'm going to do some videos in the bellicose. I've already done videos quite a while ago now of low skill alpha characters in Caracals and Avexa, clearing some of these sites. But I'm going to follow this through a little bit with this character and the ships that we need to use. Going to do the ones we can do in the easiest, cheapest fit bellicose, going up to the ones that needs a little bit of upgrading, and then onwards and upwards. But that remains to be seen. Now here there is a drone tower. It's munching my drones. Look, nice and uniformly. Munch, munch, munch. So we're going to pull those in. They again have a 15 or 45 kilometer range, whether they're small or medium. I haven't encountered a large on these low level ones. I don't do too many high level ones. Dexter does that in his Ishtar, and he does these on his lunch break on his laptop. That's what I mean about these being a lovely bite-sized chunk of gameplay, and that's his main money maker in Eve. For him is his tier 5 Abysses and his Ishtar. And the other thing with the Abyss is it can catch you out with the spawns. They are quite random. If you've got quite low DPS and you're making it through, if you get 2 rooms with battleships early on, you might well have trouble and run out of timer. It's happened to me with the low skill characters. Once you've got Tech 2 weapons, the tier 1 Abyss is going to be easy peasy no matter what you're flying really. You're also going to learn a lot more about your ship, because you're going to have to react to what's in the room rather than what you know is going to be in a room if you're doing another 3 out of 10 or another Vigil. Which, let's face it, if you've done one, you've done them all. Whereas with the Abyss, you never quite know what you're getting into. But when you do get out, this is finally the gate out. This is what, hopefully with the loot. Now on the tier 1s, I've been averaging about 4 to 5 mil. But we'll have a look at the loot in a minute in more detail. But it's not really about the money. As I say, certainly when you're newer to the game and you've only got a Tech 1 cruiser, if you can do your tier 2 missions, you can run tier 1 Abyss. And I'm going to show you how in the next couple of videos. Also look back, I'll link them at the end at the Caracal and Bexa videos. Also bear in mind, when you do some high level Abyss, you will come out of it suspect. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to the higher levels. On the subject of the loot, you pick up a lot of these mutaplasmids. Well, not a lot, but you pick them up over time. You use those to make abyssal modules, which we'll look at in a video. I'm going to use them all. You've got the stuff here for making ammo, here for making a module. Check the prices. The ammo is really worth it, so take the time to check out what you can make out of what you've picked up. Don't just look at it as the cash value. Also, you're going to pick up, as you can see there, a nice stream of higher level filaments. They're worth some good money in themselves. But yeah, check the price of the ammo on the market. It did slump for a while, but it's recovered quite nicely. See, this filament up here, that's worth a nice little chunk of money just by himself. So it mounts up over time, but I think as a fun half an hour of playing Eve and engaging. Bear in mind, my favourite ever PvE event was the hunt in an Imicus or a Merlin. Just so mad and fast and furious. This is kind of a similar building up to that kind of level where you don't know quite what you're going to get. But you'll find out once you've popped your filament, and there's no turning back. You can't leave. No one can interrupt you. It's you and the site. And destiny, basically. And destiny may dictate that it all suddenly goes wrong. It's looking good in my Kestrel. I think I've settled down into this. And look, before the bars even move on my screen, I'm dead and I'm podded. So that's part of it. Going in solo in a tier 1 Kestrel, sorry, a Tech 1 Kestrel is a good little bit of fun. Now look, about getting podded. I've got a nice little pod here. It's not brilliant, about 15 mils worth. But I'm going to make sure I go into the Abyss in an empty pod, just in case things go wrong. For a jump clone, we need this skill here, Isomorphic Psychology. An alpha can only have it to level 1. For each level allows you to have 1 jump clone. To have a jump clone, you need to find a station with a clone bay. Now the station I'm in doesn't happen to have one. So we're just going to have a little quick look up here at the system that we're in. Get the info up on there and just check the stations. There's no icon up here. There'd be a little icon if there were. And there is the icon. There's a clone bay. First station we've looked at in the system. So we're just going to fly over there. Set ourselves up a jump clone so we can leave our nice implants safe and sound. And here we are docked up at the neighbouring station. We'll activate the clone bay icon there. We don't want to set it as our home station. We don't want to self-destruct anything. We just want to install a clone right here at your lovely clone bay. Thank you very much. So let's see. How much is that going to cost us? 900,000 to set up the clone. And then we can switch to the empty one. We need to get out of our ship and into our pod. And then right up here, as you can see, I'm in the pod with the implants. There's our empty clone. Accept payment, 900 grand to switch clone. And you can see the one that's now in storage has our nice implants in it. And we can make that switch once every 24 hours. Now obviously that's useful for switching into an empty clone if you want to go to a high risk place such as the Abyss, Low-Sec, etc. Also potentially for covering very long distances in the blinking of an eye. The choice is up to you. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a few more pictures of the beautiful, splendid Abyss. I hope this has been of interest and useful to you guys. Leave us a like if you've liked it. Any comments or suggestions? You had any experience in the Abyss? Is there anything you want me to look at or go into a bit more detail on? There will be some new videos up soon and be running the Abyss in various ships and talking you through the development of the fits and some tactics and some techniques. But for now guys, take care of yourselves. Remember, even is believing. Fly brave and goodbye.